welcome to your favorite podcast, the Mostly Paperback Show with me, Bangalore Sundar. Hope all of you guys are doing fine. Today I'm going to talk about a famous book called The Talent Code by Daniel Coyle. This book was first published in the year 2009 and it fast became a bestseller. Few years back, my friend Siddharth and me, we enrolled in a German course. In the first year, we both were at the same level in terms of the grades, in terms of our language, the way we spoke, the way we wrote. We were more or less in the same level, and sometimes I scored far better than him in the class tests. But in the next year, something strange happened. All of a sudden, there was this transformation in Siddharth, in the way he spoke, the way he wrote the language, the essays that he wrote in German were flawless, and he ended up as the top scorer in our batch. That time I felt that he had this natural flair for language and maybe he is a genius. But after reading this book, I realized that it might not be the case that Siddharth had this natural flair for this language, but maybe he had developed this skill over the period of 2 years through deep practice. The premise of this book is that talent is not born, but it is grown over a period of time with deep and deliberate practice. So, to prove this particular premise, the author had traveled to many countries. He had met with many successful teams and people. He had observed them, and he realized that most of these successful people, irrespective of their field of interest, whether it is in sports or in music or in arts, they have developed the skill over a period of time through deep and deliberate practice. The talent code is built on revolutionary scientific discoveries involving a neural insulator called myelin, which, according to the author, is considered by neurologists as the holy grail of acquiring skills. He says that every human skill, whether playing a sport or music, is created by chains of nerve fibers carrying tiny electrical impulse, or basically a signal traveling through a circuit. Myelin's vital role is to wrap those nerve fibers the same way a rubber insulation wraps a copper wire, making the signals stronger and faster by preventing the electrical impulses from leaking out. When we fire our circuits in the right way, like practicing a swing of the bat or playing a musical note, our myelin responds by wrapping layers of insulation around that neural circuit, each new layer adding a bit more skill and speed. The thicker the myelin gets, the better insulation and better our movements and thoughts become. All skills, all language, all music, or all movements are made of living circuits, and all circuits grow according to certain rules. Tennis players, singers, and painters don't seem to have much in common, but they all get better by gradually improving timing, speed, and accuracy, by honing neural circuitry, by obeying the rules of the talent code, or in short, by growing more myelin. The book is divided into 3 parts, namely deep practice, ignition, and master coaching, which correspond to the 3 basic elements of the talent code. Each is useful in its own, but convergence is the key to creating skill. So basically, if somebody is very skillful, that means they have a combination of all these 3 elements. They would have practiced deeply, they had ignition, and they had masterful coaching. If we remove any one of them, the process becomes slow, and if we combine all of them, even within 6 minutes, he says that things can improve. The author says that deep